During this lesson, we're going to show you what hard drives and optical drives are and how to install them inside a desktop PC case. Hard drives come with either SATA, serial ATA, or IDE, data power connectors. SATA usually comes in 3 different versions: SATA, SATA2, and SATA3. You will need to check what your motherboard supports to make sure that you have the correct replacement drives. Hard drives may come in either 2.5-inch or 3.5-inch form factor. 2.5-inch drives were mainly used in laptops, while the 3.5-inch were used in desktops. However, the popularity of the 2.5-inch SSD devices have made the 2.5 hard drives popular options for desktop as well. Some computer case manufacturers are including the 2.5-inch hard drive cages in some of their newer design. If you're planning to replace a 3.5-inch drive with a 2.5, make sure your computer case has support for it, or you may need to purchase an adapter kit. Take precautions when touching electronic components. Improper handling of the computer components can cause damage to the computer parts during handling. To avoid this, you must ensure that you are grounded while operating inside your computer. One solution is to use an anti-static wrist strap, which you should wear during the exchange. Make sure you terminate the strap by plugging it into an outlet with the ground. If you do not have one, then constantly touch the back of the computer case. Please make sure to contact with the metal surface. The static electricity will discharge into the computer case. Open the computer case. Open both sides of the computer case by removing the screws at the back of the tower and sliding the panels off. Some computer cases do not use screws. If your case is a screwless case, you will need to find the latch or button that releases the doors or panels. Remove the doors or panels as necessary. Locate the existing hard drive. Most computers have the hard drive screwed within the cage inside the computer case. Identify the data and the power connectors and disconnect them. Remove any screws that are holding the drive, either the computer case or the hard drive cage. Most likely, the drive will be held by screws on both sides of the hard drive. Remove the screws. Please use your hand to support the hard drive if the case or cage does not support the drive. Once the screws are removed, you will slide the hard drive out of the cage or case. Try switching on your computer. If you are replacing your primary hard drive, you will either need to reinstall your software or use recovery disks. Installing an operating system like Windows, Mac OS, or Linux may be needed if you do not have a recovery image or disk. If you are replacing a secondary drive, you might need to reload any software that was installed on the drive or copy back data files from a backup source. Learn the different formats. There are a variety of confusing formats for DVD drives, including DVD, DVD plus R, DVD minus R, DVD plus or minus R, DVD plus or minus RW. These all refer to different reading and writing capabilities of the drive. Generally, all the new drives these days will be DVD plus minus RW or just DVD RW. This indicates that DVDs can read as well as write all types of bannable DVDs. Most new drives can write, though you can purchase budget drives that can read DVD discs. These are labeled DVD-ROM drives. Compare read and write speeds. When looking at different models, it will be useful to compare the read and write speeds. These tell how long it will take to read and write various forms of media on the drive. Most new DVD drives will read at 16 speed and write up to 24 speed. These measures indicate how much faster the drive is. One speed drive is not a measurement of the actual reading or writing speed. Turn the power off on your computer and detach all cables. You will need to access the insides of your computer in order to install the drive. For the easiest installation, move your computer to a location that allows you to easily access the case, such as on a table. If you are installing an external drive, Plug it into your computer via USB and skip down to the next section. Open the case. If you do not have thumb screws, you will need a Phillips head screwdriver. Remove the old drive if necessary. If you are replacing an old drive, you will need to put it out before installing the new one. Disconnect the cables from the back of the drive. Then remove the screws on each side of the drive. Push the drive slightly from behind and then pull the drive out from the front of the case. If you are not replacing an old drive, you will need to locate an empty bay. These are usually found on the front of the case towards the top. You may have a drive or already two in this area. Remove the front panel to expose the bay. Attach any rails if necessary. Some cases use rails to secure the drive to the case. If this is the case, the rails will need to be attached to the side of the drive before inserting it in the case. Slide the drive in from the front of the computer. Nearly all drives are inserted from the front of the computer, though you may need to double check your computer's documentation. Ensure that you're inserting the drive right side up. Secure the drive. If you're securing with screws, you should be using 2 screws on each side. Make sure to secure the drive on both sides of the case. If you are using rails, make sure that the drive is inserted all the way and clips into place. Connect the SATA port to your motherboard. Use the included SATA cable or use your own if the drive did not come packed with any. Connect it to the next empty SATA port of your motherboard. Refer to your motherboard documentation if you cannot find the SATA ports on the motherboard. The SATA data cable can only be inserted one way on both the drive and the motherboard. Do not force the connection. Be careful to not disconnect any other component such as your hard drive or your computer will not reboot. Connect the power supply to the drive. Find a power connector in your computer's power supply. This is usually located at the bottom of the case. Connect the power cable to the power slot on the back of the drive. Like the data cable, the power cable can only be inserted one way, so do not force it. If you do not have any available power connector, you can buy an adapter that can provide additional connectors. Reassemble the computer and power it back on. Close up the case, return it to position, and reattach the cables. Switch on your computer.